Bam, bam. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Welcome to the Crypto Lover Show, baby. Let's go. First thing I'm going to do is put the lemon into the water. Shout out to everybody here, and stay hydrated. Drinking lemon water every single day. Decalcify the pineal gland. Get yourself on another level. Let's do this every single day. When I started drinking the lemon water, I think it was 8 or 9 years ago. Slowly, everything changed. I believe this was the reason things began to kind of explode for me. So shout out to everybody here. God bless each and every one of you. Stay hydrated. This is what your body wants. This is what your body needs every single day. Even if you wake up, the first thing you do is drink lemon water. It does something, and it turns into alkalinity, all right? Another thing I want to talk about is getting yourself a hardware wallet. Get yourself a Trezor Touch today. Link in the description. It's quick. It's easy. Keep your Bitcoin safe and secure on a hardware wallet. Make sure that most of your funds are not sitting on MetaMask where they could get swiped like it has been happening in the past if you touch the wrong thing and exchange your funds right over and, you sign the wrong contract. Make sure you're doing things properly. Link in the description below to your Trezor hardware wallet. I see it on my desk right now, and it's just something I want to talk about. Let's take a big sip of the water. Let's get hydrated, and let's get into Bitcoin. Let's get that music back up and running. Shout out to everybody here on the live. I'm so excited and grateful to be here with each and every one of you. And may God bless all your souls and all your lives. Thank you for being here. Here's actually a card from my dad. Change of wind is always good. Happy birthday, Sailor Sam. Attack here, attack there. Love you, Dad. Today is the funeral of my aunt, which is, tough, Going to see some family members is bring back some memories of my dad's funeral, which was not too long ago. So, it's one of those days. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Looking at Casper. Is it going to continue to the upside, or is it going to slump back down? Small time frames show signs of a possible pump to the upside. Even the 4-hour looks pretty interesting to me, but you never know. Only time will tell, baby. Only time will tell. So boom, boom, boom. And we have a nice little flag here on the 4-hour time frame that is curving up. However, the 21's getting far apart. We just got a golden cross. And just because this thing is so close to price discovery, which is right there, the highest it's ever been, there is a chance here we could get a pretty crazy pump to the upside. Token metrics also kind of spotlighting it up today. We could see a move here for Caspa. All right, back to the upside. I'm watching Caspa here on the 4-hour time frame. You might want to take a look at this puppy. And again, the daily's getting overbought, starting to get really far away from the 21, telling me there's likely going to be some type of pullback. Could it get one more push up? Like it's one of these, like here it is. Could it get one more push up before it has to come down to roost? But it's coming back down to that 21 at one point. Likely somewhere around here. It's going to meet 4.3, 4.4. Likely it looks like Caspa, but you never know. It could get a huge pump up here and then stay above the resistance. So I'm watching it closely on the 4-hour time frame and the 15-minute here to see if it's going to get a bit of a shakeup. All right, I personally did buy back in a little bit, so I'm back into Caspa in case it does make a pretty monumental move. I don't miss it, and if it comes back down, I could double back in to the position. So there we have it. That's kind of where I stand with Caspa. I know people are going to ask about it on the live stream. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Feeling the vibes, baby. And, you know, good music leads to good vibration and good feeling. And I'm all about that good music, and that's why I use the good music. Shout out to Trevor, TVA, Lifer333. Shout out to Mackenzie Fisley. Shout out to G.O.G. Bain. Shout out to Dave Van Beaton. Shout out to Creators Crypto. Shout out to GF Burke. Shout out to Casper, please, my man. Shout out to Crypto Plumber. Goddess Love. Gmail Brown, my man. Bitty Bitcoin, baby. Shout out to Crypto Fever for the $10 super chat. May God bless you for doing that, man. You're the man. God bless you. Let's take a look at Bitcoin on the morning. We already hit one quick little kind of trade that I was giving up this morning to the trading group. It's the setup that I look for every day. It's the divergence. And once you get the divergence, usually it marks a move back up to the 200 SMA. You know, you look for strong divergence and you get a move back up to the 200 SMA. And, you know, for my NQ people, looking at the NQ, the divergence is now stronger than it was before. See how it doubled down? It's a good sign, right? So if you doubled into this divergence and you kind of got lower, you can double down into this. Very likely we're going to pump back up to the 200 SMA. This is the same thing that Bitcoin just did. And you can see the same setup here now and trade it on the NQ back to the 200 SMA. There's a gap here too, kind of helping us out. A POC, if we can get back above, that trade would play out. So looking for that. Again, if you hit resistance and you can't, look for the slump. NQ looks just like Bitcoin. They're very, very similar at the present moment in time. So I'll show you what we just did. We just did the trade that I'm showing you on the NQ. So we go back and forth. NQ, right? Price action gets away from the 21, pulls out. You get low stochastic, you pump. What you do is you want to flip the 21, then you usually flip the 50 slowly till you get to the 200. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, this is a visual trade because you can't really put a limit order. You can put a limit order somewhere. But the thing is, like, the limit order is going to change as price act. You know, it could be there, it could be there, it could be there, it even could be here. You know, positive trade all through the board there, regardless, right? The key is to know that something is highly likely going to happen and trade it over and over again. So, like, here we found the divergence, boom, it came up, resistance, and then you're like, can you get the move up to the 200 SMA? And bang, we hit it. And look, if you don't sell it to 200 SMA, you usually will get rocked and wrecked, right? And so whoever didn't sell here at the 1 minute 200 SMA didn't, you know, and so some algorithm is moving this. Someone does this. Some old school trader with tons of money. I don't know. Someone that runs Bitcoin's algorithm loves this play. The yoke away from the two. And then, you know, sometimes this kind of creates a shoulder head and a right shoulder. Not every time, but sometimes you get a bit of an inverted. Here, this looked just like it, right? But it got rejected by this level. So what you do is if you add in here, you get pumped up, you come back down. You just have to re-add again, right? But likely you're going to get to that 200 SMA. I would be excited to see if this plays out today on the NQ. Now we have a major resistance now at 15,521, so that could play out. Like, I'm always conscious of my support and resistance, no matter how amazing I think the play is going to be, right? But at the same time, if this can create a higher low on the 1 minute now, if our next low is a higher low, kind of like this, and we start to, there's a very highly likely chance that it'll begin to play out. And again, like I told you, it's not always the case, but it will resemble a shoulder, a head, and a possible right shoulder too that could break you to the upside. And so now we kind of have more insight into what's happening here in the market. This is a possible long. If you're in a short, just be careful. This is when they may squeeze back to the upside. Let's take a look at BOOKMAP on Bitcoin, showing us what's happening to BTC. All right. And when we look at BOOKMAP, we see more liquidity to the downside, 25,800 as well, 840 Bitcoins in that area. And we can just see that Bitcoin wants to go further to the downside than to the upside. We do see a lingering order up there at 27,000. Could have just been left there from yesterday to see if it actually hits. You never know. There's a chance we go up there, but, you know, BOOKMAP's been deadly accurate. It said 26.8. Yesterday, we eventually did hit 26.8, right? So shout out to everybody here on the live. Am I whispering today? Is that, are you joking? Is it me or is the volume low? Interesting. The volume's low today, right? That's weird. I have no idea why the volume would be low. Wouldn't make any sense to me. But two people said it, right? Is it me or is the volume low? Is Sam whispering? Volume is good. No, we hear you perfectly. No, perfectly. All right. Volume is fine. The volume is fine. Yeah. You know, sometimes there's 3 weird people that will just say, well, I'm going to go to a show and we're going to write, is the volume low? And get in his head. I wouldn't put it past these weird trolls, man. So get out of here, you trolls. Look, let's take a look. So Bitcoin, further to the downside is what I'm seeing. All right? Further to the downside. Someone's talking about the actual volume on the charts. Yeah. So is the volume actually low or not, man? Why are you speaking Spanish today? Trolls, man. Get out, you deaf trolls. Yo, lifer, is Bitcoin about to pump? I don't know. I've got the same exact setup as usual. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. There's nothing, you know. Trying to think if I did a Zoom yesterday, but I don't know. You know. Oh, yeah, you know, all good to the volume. Maybe it has to do with the MGM hack. So crazy, right? MGM getting hacked in Vegas. It's got us some big news. FET looks to have an Adam and Eve at the double bottom. I put FET out. I put a bunch of trades out to the trading group last night. I was on fire. I get into these zones. I would write those down, take a look at what's happening in the markets there, and just pay atenciones, right? Now, this 4 hour looks like it's going to come back down, but it's starting to consolidate nicely here. And the thing about it is it broke out of the bigger trend, right? This falling wedge broke out. And then now you're making a flag outside of a bigger trend break. And that just gets me excited. And you're retesting, right? Daily could get a bit of a pump here. 3-day was a little stressed out. You saw that? 3 days a little stressed. Yikes. Well, let's see. I see the Adam and Eve there. Adam and Eve double bottom for sure. I'm watching the daily. The daily looks good to me. Trade the daily. If the daily gets back above this resistance, all can be well at 28. All right. Fetch AI. FET. VeChain ready for another pump. I hear you loud and clear. Crypto Plumber, my man. Happiness is love, and love is happiness. Being a lifer. Happy, a great day of lifers. Off to work. Shout out to everybody here on the live, and shout out to all the gains we've been making in the trading group. Shout out to HIFI Finance, man. Let's take a look at this baby. HIFI, just absolutely banging to the upside. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Why did I put it out? What was I looking for? Well, number one, we gave the token metrics put it out for us just a week back. And I was looking for, we got this, I think we might have seen this first pump right here. Then it went sideways and pumped again nicely, right? And then what I drew was this trend line. Saw that it came back and then just kind of drew this nice falling wedge. And I put the trade out right here with the stop loss, backward inside the pattern, and this thing would break out, continue to the upside, and then just absolutely moon. Like insanity. I was just trying to get to here, right? Still was a nice gain of 83%. But this thing has just gone on an absolute insane move to the upside. Almost like it can't stop. Up 135%. Still hanging out at 126% gains for HIFI Finance. And the cool thing about this was when I did actually draw this and talk about it, it was on the live stream. So like you can go back. What's really fun about kind of the track record of me is you can be like, well, when did this guy bring this up? And what I've made, what I've learned watching this guy's channel, like what would I have gotten from watching it, right? And so you can go and you can be like, well, it looks like the setup came on September 11th. So you can go back to my channel. You can look at the live. Shout out to Danny Duncan, by the way. What a kid, right? You can go to the live and you can go back, 15. So today's the 15. So this is 16. This is today, right? This is 16, 17. Yeah, so 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, right? FTX. And then just go back and we should see HIFI, right? Inside of this. And then when you see it there, you hit on the QR, you in there, you'll see me eventually, I believe, make this, and look, and this is where I see it. And how does a mind see that? Like most minds just see just crazy whatever, right? but I saw the actual entry, like, and I was able to build it. And this is the beauty, man. I even think sometimes, I don't know how, I don't even know, like, and then boom, and then we gave you the trade. That was the perfect entry. It never went lower than that. Actually would boom. You look at it, a 54-cent HIFI, and now it's sitting at $1.67. I mean, come on now, right? This channel really produces the information on a daily basis to help you find out where the money is flowing in cryptocurrency. Most people never even knew about this. They'll never even talk about it. It wasn't on Twitter. You won't hear it. This will trend, you know, maybe a little bit here and there, but bang, man. And Token Metrics, too, gave us the call. But then we find the actual entry with our TA. So it's not just Token Metrics. It's also using the technical analysis to master this. And team, we should clip something. We should clip this out. You know what I mean? Just to show people, man, like, that's what happens if you pay attention to the trading group. Unbelievable. 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 And then what, TRC was it? Come on, man. This thing was on an absolute tear too. Went up like 400%. Craziness. And then another coin that I was tracking closely that is on an absolute tear. And I got other coins that I'm looking at too now. Chromia. Might want to write this down. It only has a perpetual, right? But I'm looking at this tight price action here. And, you know, that's going to make a move at one point. I look at my indicators. We just got a golden cross. Tight moving averages. 4 hour coming back down. It might come a little lower. We'll see how the trend works. And it could dump. You know, there's no guarantees. But it's just something that is on my radar right now as well. All right. And there's something else in my mind that was been pumping. Let me see. I'll go to the gains on gains. But shout out to everybody that jumped into the trading group, man. Shout out to everyone that's just doing damage, learning how to trade. And again, I tell people, do not use leverage if you don't know what you're doing. Leverage can get addicting. It can be a place where you want to keep running back, revenge trading. You know, look, we're swing trading these altcoins. IOTX looks absolutely beautiful in the 4 hour. I just put it out to my trading group. You do not need to use leverage to become a multimillionaire. I just want to make that clear to you. If you don't want to use leverage, you don't have to, right? I don't want people to feel like you have to use leverage, all right? We do teach it, and I do use it here and there, sparingly, on and off, and so it's a great tool if used correctly, okay? But I also don't want you to think you even have to use it. If you don't feel comfortable, don't use it, you know? Lifer, can you take a look at NODL and Joy? Both are up 60 to 70 over the last 7 days. JOYSTREAM, dude, has been the one we've just been banging on, you know? And you guys saw me personally buy JOYSTREAM, and that thing just continues. Just continuing. Look at it in the flag now. Flagging out. Possibly getting ready for another move. You know? There's a chance here. Let's take a look here at JOYSTREAM. Yeah, it's getting tighter in the zone. And it's the one to be. And again, at one point it's going to come down, but... And you guys saw me on Mexi live in front of everyone. Put my money where my mouth is. And see, I like to swing trade altcoins, man. You know? Yeah, my team just said volume is fine. We have the sound normalized. We can instantly tell if there's a change. You were spot on. Don't listen to the trolls. I think someone said volume was low, and they weren't talking about my talking. They were talking about the actual price action volume, you know? And then it went from one place to the next, and I think that's, you know. And then they thought it was funny to mess with me, and then it got out of control. And I'm pretty sure I got trolled by my own trolls. All right. I used to collect trolls as a kid. I was a weird kid. Those little troll dolls, I liked those dolls. They were funny. I mean, little troll dolls. I actually want to get one of them, and every time we get trolled, I'll just, like, put it up. But you guys remember these little trolls? When I was a kid, trolls were hot. Like, these were hot. Yeah, you love that little face. There's something about that creepy little smile that you just couldn't stop staring at as a kid. You know? And it was, like, half creepy, half mysterious, half funny. But you were addicted to it. And you couldn't help it. And you wanted the green one, you wanted the blue one, you wanted the red one. You wanted them all. Okay? And now they even got my kids into the trolls with the new troll movie. That one's really creepy. But there's just something about those troll eyes and that troll nose. I mean, the rock and roll troll there, too. I'm pretty sure I have this one. I'm almost positive. I remember the little guitar. And these are vintage. Vintage trolls, man. Punk rocker troll, yeah. Oh, yeah. Leprechaun troll for St. Patrick's Day. I don't know how we got here. We're going to get off there. We're going to get off the topic here, but unbelievable. I love those things. So Caspa showing a little bit of sign of life here on a move to the upside. I am back in Caspa. If I were to sell all my Caspa, it would be about $15,000. So I bought back in, and I got more than I had before. We'll see where it goes, man. We will see where it goes. All right. I may have to bounce out, though the daily doesn't look good, so I'm scalping. See what we can get out of the scalp and see if we go from there. I like fetch on the daily. See this? I like how it's retesting. I like it on the daily. If it breaks back inside here, it's going to come back down to the bottom of the pattern. We'll have to reassess. But there's a cup. There's a handle there. Sammy Cup and Hattie to the upside. You know, Blocktopia, an oldie but goodie that we just haven't seen for a long time. Great project. Everyone was getting in. Binance, you know, people were making spaces inside of Blocktopia. It was getting big. It was hot. It was the thing to be. And what happened to Blocktopia? You know, it just kind of disappeared off the face of the radar. Do you think Blocktopia will come back? You know what I mean? What do you guys think? I want to know in the comment section below there. Do you think Blocktopia will ever make a comeback? It was hot. Who here remembers Block, man? When the Block was hot and it was fun to trade. This coin was interesting. What happened to Block? Finally get away, finally get away. Shout out to everybody here. So Block, I mean, to me, I don't like to get into things that are at the lowest point they've ever been in their lives. I do think this is a substantial project. I did my research on this, and I really, you know, I liked what they had going on. And not many people had what Blocktopia had, you know? So interesting to see it so beat to the ground. I wouldn't touch it, though. I need to see it get back above some key support zones. I don't love it enough. You know, I like Wild. We'll talk about Wilder World, right? Write down Wild if you like Wilder World. On KuCoin too there, and Mexi. And this thing's getting lower than it's ever been. So gaming coins getting flushed right now, completely, right? I was wanting to look at Total 3, which is the total market cap of all the altcoins. And so we've been looking at this key level here at $320 billion. Can you believe all the altcoins are only $320 billion? I mean, there's such a room for movement. They could get to $2 trillion on their own, right? The block chart looks like ACS, right? So while you have a low, you have a high, you have a higher low, 3 higher lows in a row. Bit of a double bottom here. Looking for, I mean, total 3. But we're looking for Total 3 to get a bounce back to the upside here, all right? And when you look at the 3-day says, hey, it's time to get a bounce. And then close that gap to the 200 SMA. This is that same thing that we just did. Look, this is going to blow your mind. See what we just traded here on the 1 minute? And Bitcoin is bearish. I'm overall bearish on Bitcoin. And we're going to talk about that. That was just a small scalp. If you woke up this morning with me, I was bearish on BTC. All right. And it's because it lost the key level of support, 26.6. And now if we lose 26.3, that's going to be the next level. You know, bit of a double bottom here now on the 1 minute. We'll see. We're going to break this down for you. But what I want to show you is price action left. Let me get rid of all this other stuff because I don't want to distract you. I want to see if I can get you to understand this. So price action does bullish divergence. It leaves the 21, and then it will pump back up to the 200 SMA. We just talked about this. I called this move before it even happened. If you're in my trading group, you would have been privy to this information. Possibly could have made a long on that and then walked away for the day. You know what I mean? A little long and then walked away for the day. So let's take a look here. We take a look. We open this up. And so I'll show you what happened. And I try to flip book it for you. I don't know if I'm doing, you know. So it's like Bitcoin. Look for the quick long to the 200 SMA on the 1 minute. The old setup I look for every day, right? And so we're looking for that pushback up to the 200 SMA. It'll take its time, and it may not go that high. It might end up here because the 200 is going to move as you go sideways. But you're looking for price action to get to that yellow line, okay? And then we were battling 26.4, but we got back above it. But for a second, we were going to, you know, and I always, just so I said, hey, watch the support and resistance, right? Then we got above that area. The 20, you know, we started to get closer. You can see we're going to lose the initial area that we could get in. We could probably lose a half a percent or something. Then, I said, I'm teaching you this trick. See how close we're getting, right? Then I put out another call in the middle, which I'm not, and then bang, we hit it. And then we flush right above it. Try to get people to pile in to probably get them to come out, because people like to get in when you get above a 200 SMA. That creates other bots, and it's really bots tricking bots. But if you knew to sell right there at the yellow line like I was waiting for, and look, we got the move. So you get pulled away from the 21. You go through the moving averages. Once they get tight and you get above them all, you're so likely getting hit that 200 SMA, right? So look, what I want to show you is how interesting this is. So you remember this and look at the pattern. Remember that pattern, all right? And then look at total. Was it total? There's the same similar pattern. Can we pump up to the 200 SMA here? Similar idea. Now, it doesn't mean you're obviously bullish, and Bitcoin getting a nasty dump to the downside. We're also going to look at the NQ for a second. NQ was struggling earlier today as well. Looks like they're both pretty bearish together, but we'll see. Yeah, about to lose 1550 too. The idea is the NQ, if it loses the 200 SMA on the 1 hour, you're going lower. Like, that's just the old, The NQ was attempting to do the same scenario now today, though. Look, there's the swing up. It's getting tight. Can the NQ get to the 200 SMA? So if you're an NQ trader and you like to trade the NQ, right now you could use my crazy little strategy here to see, and find out. You can test the lifer. Is the lifer out of his mind? Is this for real? Also, what you're getting on the NQ is a shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder. Likelihood you will get this move to the 200 SMA. Test my strategy. See if I'm full of it. Again, there is resistance now at the NQ. You can't seem to get back above 15.5. That's going to be resistance and psychological, so eventually we could just end up getting a nasty dump here. I look at the Stokes, which are a little high. But again, this thing tends to play out regardless. Like, I just kind of let it do its thing. You got to watch it and then use it to your advantage, like everything in trading, right? But what I mean is you got to, but you are getting into another kind of bear flag here that could send you way further down. Bang. Even if you pump up to the 200 like today, it doesn't mean you're going to go great. You're just looking for this tiny move. That's all you're looking for, and then you're out for the day. You could do this many, many times over on multiple assets, and just search for this setup. This is the setup of a champion. All right, there it is right there. Bang, rejection. If you don't sell there, you probably will get wrecked, okay? You got to be able to maintain and handle the idea, and then you have to stick to this is what I'm going to do. I'm not doing anything else. I'm doing this, all right? I'm going to do this. You can't say I'm going to do 5 or other things, 10 other things. I'm going to do this and this only, all right? So, H-bar, please. ISO is the GOAT. Maybe. What about Glimmer and Mover? Thanks from Slovenia. I don't know. I mean, they're older coins. They move with, it's quadruple witching day, so markets will be messy. People have to fix their portfolios. Interesting. Full of it. Rely too much on indicators. Diablo. Boom, boom, boom. The cup and handle moves on the live was insane. Yesterday on the live was insane. God bless you, brother. To you and yours. Respect. Thank you, man. Oh, yeah, when we did, Frankie gets the chocolate cake thing, that was insane. Yeah. Pretty crazy. It'd be so cool to see this play out in front of you, just so you can see. But I've back-tested it. There's a likelihood that it's going to play out over it's not playing out. But there's a chance it doesn't. No guarantees in trading. And psychological, you just lost 15,500, which in your mind, you have to remember. Some traders are going to short that just right on there, What do you think about Tenet? You think it's ready for a breakout? I like Tenet. I haven't looked at the chart in a long time. I don't know. Everyone, I do have to go to a funeral today, so I have to leave early. Eventually I will have a life that will take me from the charts. It's just how life is. I don't know why God has it set up like that. BOOKMAP says Bitcoin's going lower, way lower, all the way down to 26,100. If you woke up this morning, I called short. I told you the liquidity was further to the downside, and it was likely that we were going to get a dump. So that's the update this morning. That's kind of what we talked about. Let's break it down. And believe you me, don't worry, we'll clean this up for you in 2 seconds and get you ready to go. Boom. We'll take away my moving averages. We double click on price action, And we just move in from the bigger time frames really swiftly and fastly. And we're going to give you Bitcoin in under 5 minutes. Check it out. It is 10:41. Watch this. Major resistance for Bitcoin, 31,300, 31,005. You can even bring it back down, but about 31,500 area. Bounce. Key bounce. What no one's talking about, what I bring up every day, fast moves, fast ideas, is that we have a hidden bullish divergence. Price action swinging to the upside, RSI swinging to the downside, stochastics RSI curving, telling me there's a likelihood of a break further to the upside. 26,300 is key level of support. We are losing it right now today, or battling around it. They know a lot of people are going to short the second we lose it. If they can flip the price action, you know what I mean? Yeah. So far, NQ following suit. It's made the low, the higher low in a row. This is what we're looking for. You know, you want to see it continue to maintain these higher lows. It just got to get that one high above there and slowly make its move above each moving average. This could take long. It can go sideways and play out. And like it could take 40 minutes. The longest I've seen it take is like an hour and 20. You know, the second you make a low lower than this low, usually it negates the fact that this is going to happen. You gotta maintain the structure. Anyway, so Bitcoin, we have hidden bullish divergence here that could break further to the upside. That's what it says. Again, the second we start to make a low anywhere lower than 4,000, let's say 838, 832, we're likely going further to the downside. All right. So we've talked about this being a head and shoulders 100 times. I went over it when we were here. And you would have seen me talk about it many times. I said, guys, be ready for this idea. I've never been a perma bull or a perma bear. And I even said, be ready. It would break us down to 19.4, and that would be the POC. Before it even made the right shoulder, we started drawing this and talking about it. All right. Just want to make it clear and you can find it. It's documented out there in my almost 1,000 days. Tomorrow will be the thousandth show. Or no. Tomorrow will be $9.99, right? Yeah. Unless today, yeah. I got confused. Tomorrow's show $9.99, right? I just can't believe it. I look at it in disbelief. I'm like, wow, unbelievable. Thanks again. 99 Epic, then 4 digits. When you buy a recording, you can watch it and you'll be added to the next available class at no charge. Email cryptolifers@gmail.com. Yeah, buy the recording and we'll put you in the live class for the love, which is something nobody does. I mean, we just really care about you. We want you to have the best experience possible. And we know that if we go that hard for everyone, that our business will just thrive. It will thrive. All right. So only on the 3-day do you have the hidden bullish. It does not, you start to lose it any time frame lower than that, right? Daily really doesn't have it. Daily kind of has it. Interesting. Daily has what looks like what's called exaggerated bullish, where you have flat price action, but a downward movement here. And again, daily getting overbought though and not being able to get above some key levels. So, all right. Now we break down the key areas to watch on the daily. So I gave you the bigger areas. Let's talk about the smaller areas. So we know we have a major resistance right here where we wicked right to just recently at 28,226, right? And then where we've wicked to here at 26,800 has been a bit of an issue. However, beautiful double bottom bounce here off of 24,900 area, 24,008. And again, this resembles a double bottom, right? A bit of a double bottom that could break further to the upside. I was doing an experiment, seeing if I could make something erase, but it always disappeared. So let's just turn this back to yellow. That's my highlighter. So there's a bit of a double bottom there that could play out. Like you can't say that's anyone that knows their TA. You can't say, hey, that's a double bottom. It's clearly a double bottom, right? The second we break that, fine. I'll short us right down to 21,000. That's why when everyone's like, oh, we're going lower, I'm like, fine, we'll come down. We'll do a bearish retest. We may go all the way down low. It could happen, but usually you'll do something like that. See this? You came up, you bearishly retested, then you dropped, then you made a flag, then you dropped, and the smaller time frames showed you something inside. This is the dailies, right? So just remember, when everyone tells you we're going lower and you get that like scared feeling inside, take a deep breath, relax, and say, you know what? We'll know because we're going to take it level by level. And that's why I always tell everyone, like, you don't have to go to the channel that's predicting Bitcoin every 5 seconds. Just come to the channel that goes over Bitcoin every 5 to 6 hours like we do, and you're going to be privy to what's happening to Bitcoin, all right? So here's the deal. Does this daily candle close red with a wick? That would be tweezer tops, and that would be a bearish close on the day. We'd like this to close green without a wick. So we're already setting up the day, not looking too great. However, we do see this gap in the VRVP. See it? I want you all to realize this gap. We can kind of keep hanging out here above this level, which is 26,050. You know, this point of control, 26,060 is the actual level, really. If we can somehow maintain, there's just a likelihood that we're going to get back up to this high volume node at 29,000. I remember saying this back at 16K to 19K, and we ended up doing it. So I just don't want you to forget this. We're almost done with our Bitcoin update. Stick with me. It takes me about 30, 40 minutes to clear the air and get my mind out exactly where I want to be with Bitcoin. So, forming another idea here. Remember, we made this falling wedge in my humble opinion. And I'm going to look at it on the 4-hour. It's got more detail. And this is how I looked at it. And everyone could have looked at it somewhat differently. I saw us break out, break back inside, tight, break out, break back inside, break out, break back inside, and then the falling wedge broke to the upside. All right. I see the 4-hour too far away from the 200 from the 21 SMA. If every time you pump up and you get space from the 21 and you just short back to the 21, I'm telling you right now, you'll make money doing this over and over and over again. The second we pumped too high and we got rejected by this previous resistance, that's short city at 26.8, and then you knew we had to revisit the 200 SMA on the 4-hour. The 21 SMA, we were too far away. That's part of my strategy, and boom, we came back, right? Now, there was little longs in between all this that you could have played on the smaller time frames, but bigger idea is that was a short further down, okay? And we got rejected by the 200 SMA. I wanted the 4-hour to close above. We did not do that this morning. That's a bearish close now. We did not, had we stayed above the 200, it would have been a great sign. However, as these start to get tight, that does show, signs that we could get a move to the downside. 22 in the daily are starting to get pretty overbought. All right. And we're not able to get above that previous resistance. So right now, unless Bitcoin can get us above 26.8, you have to expect more downside. All right. Meaningless, I am shorting. And yeah, look, we got NQ did get rejected by that level. However, it's extending the divergence. So if I was in this trade and went down, I would add, you basically would add here. Because eventually it's going to get the breakout. There's the shoulder head. And so look at this, I'll blow your mind, but I believe I'm seeing the projection before it happens here. Now it's a real strong divergence. See, the only problem with this strategy is sometimes I'll preemptively run the first divergence a little early. You know what I mean? And I'm respecting the fact that we did lose 15.5, right? That's psychological. People are going to short that level. Doesn't mean that we can't get this technical move back up, though. So now look, shoulder, head. Now I project the right shoulder. Target's going to get somewhat lower, but I still haven't given up on the idea because I've seen it happen 1,000 times, right? Meaningless ETF opens up more options for Bitcoin, right? But if people are not interested in risk on assets, ETF won't generate actual demand, especially given the type of investors who buy into ETFs. There's a lot of people who aren't going to buy the ETF. So guess that's ETF won't impact Bitcoin's price. Honestly, this is a long-term investment. BlackRock, Fidelity, stuff like that. And they're offering money, they're offering it to big family funds, billionaire hedge funds, family funds that have owned money for a long time. And so they're allocating a 10-year, 20-year plan for these. So they have to buy a lot of Bitcoin regardless. They're not looking like you guys at the smaller time frame. It will pump the price of Bitcoin. It's going to make them, they're going to have to clear more Bitcoin on spot. And that's just going to create more, more demand for BTC. Period. Period. Now, this is just getting the work over now. You You're going to get the reversal eventually, but you're getting hammered right now on the NQ. And honestly, it's jobs report. Like, everyone is now, I think it's baking in what happened yesterday, right? It's baking in what happened yesterday. Look, you couldn't get above the POC. I don't care what I tell you, you know, how amazing the strategy is. You've got to get above that point of control for it to happen. Couldn't even make the head of the right shoulder, right? That looks like you're going lower to 15,347 possibly, too. Nothing really stopping that sell-off. Because jobs are supposed to be worse, right? And then, so they're going to have to raise rates again, you know? Look at that thing. It's going to tank now. Oh, yeah. Come to daddy, baby. Now the divergence is so strong. These usually whip back up very fast. So you take your money, like, when I'm in these, you're moving the stop, moving the stop, moving the stop, moving the stop. Friday, low volume stop loss, dumpage. That may be the calling right there, right? That's the mass liquidation now. Funny, I'm on the NQ now. But it does say, you know, measured moves are pretty deadly, and this one's got a fat one. It says you go real low. But the divergence is kicking in now, like real strong. There's going to be a snipe long here. Just a quick snipe long. Lost the POC though. The NQ, man, trading. I got a lot on my mind today going to the funeral too, so you got to tell yourself that too. You got to know when your mind is overloaded, right? Like I told myself, don't open a trade today. So when you're at the funeral, you know, you're not looking at your phone. Like, just don't be rude, you know, because once you're in the trade, you will look at a trade. That's just what you'll do. Okay, that's what you're gonna do. And remember, when the 4 hour comes to the 21, it usually means the 1 hour will come to the 200 SMA. You see that? The chicken comes home to roost. And this is the rising wedge that we talked about last night. Remember? And I'm saying, like, do you get the bearish retest or you get the break on out? And, like, bearish retest of the rising wedge, too. Yeah, stay true to the, if you stay really true to this angle, like watch, map it out. And it's clear, bounce, fell out, bearishly retested right there for the drop. And you lost a high volume node and went down through the gap. It's just so beautiful. The VRVP is beautiful. You trade that gap down, right? And then you lost key, you lost 20. The second you lost, 26.6 was the battle. Like, that was the battle, right? And when you lost 26,600, it just, you know, for me, I mean, I've been watching it for days, right? So the second we lost 26.6, you knew short was going to pay. The short was going to pay. You know what I mean? The short was going to pay. And, yeah. King of 3% with 66x leverage. There you go. What happened? USA. You're funny, man. Bam. Okay. My short on Bitcoin finally in the green. 3 days. I've been waiting. Oh, man. Sam, did you see the rising wedge of the 1 hour? There is no spoon. There is never a spoon. Never been a spoon, man. So this rising wedge breaking down further to the downside, right? That's just nasty. And a bit of an M there, too. And there was an M here, too. And that's what I was pointing out this morning in my trading group. And that's why I teach stochastics RSI. Stochastics came up. Stochastics came up again, but you couldn't get above the previous high. You made an M pattern. And I'll teach my students that M's break to the downside. right? And there you have it. And you lost a POC, a point of control. I mean, this stuff is just boom. Okay. Now, do we go further down? You watch the smaller time frames, bear flags, and see new areas of resistance until you break back above one. So, like, that's kind of got a diamond in it. You see it? But now you look clearly, you'll be like, all right, well, we bounce, resistance. And now you know, we gotta get back, or we're gonna continue, that's an SR flip. You flip it upside down, you're like, that's a bounce back to the upside. And then you can be like, what, I trade that? You're like, yeah, I trade this flag. But you'd be wary of the long, because look, you're starting to get far away in the moving averages. Now I'm upside down, right? You see that? Boom, right there. And that go further down to 26,078. All right. Could be that could be the moment right there to stop the short, but Can you check Casper the 1 hour? It looks like a symmetrical triangle flag away for the 200. What BOOKMAP saying, Sammy? Beginning of 21, ETH was stagnant until March, then it took off. And everyone, I got to bounce too and go to the funeral today. So look, I mean, that's a bear flag for Bitcoin. To me, it looks like it's going to go further down at 26,080. If you lose 2660, that's going to be such a key level. And BOOKMAP says we go to 25.8 today. Look, he cleaned up his liquidity up there. It's really like, BOOKMAP suggests we go lower to 25,800 and we break below. There's bearish feelings. There's bearish talk, right? The Fed's going to come out, and what they're going to do is they're going to basically, jobs went up. They wanted jobs to go down. Oil went up. They wanted oil to go down, right? You know what I mean? Everything went backwards. So inflation is starting to heat up again. And they felt like they did what they were supposed to. Come on, man. And what they're going to do is they're eventually going to say, all right, we're going to get to 2.5. No, 3%. They're probably going to raise it. I've been saying they're never going to get to 3%. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. All right? It's not going to happen. I would stay in a short. Bitcoin, and BOOKMAP suggests we go further to the downside today, 25,800, maybe even lower. All right? Let's see how this story is corroborated. Now, number one, the 4 hours turning on you right now, and it's going to continue. You lost the 200 SMA. I always talk about this. Second you lose the 200 SMA and the candle closes, you open short with a stop loss on the other side of the 200 SMA. I've talked about this hundreds of times on the live stream now, and I've even given examples of it. Right here. The second this candle closed below, you open up a short, right? Boom, boom, boom. Now, that might have tripped you out there, right? That one was a little trickier, depending on where you put the stop loss. But if you put the stop loss above this high and the point of control, which is a smart idea, you would have made the money, right? You got to use other things in your favor. Here, the second this closed below, you open the short, boom, came back and gone. Here, right here, you open the short right around here, beautiful dump to the downside for the gain. Right here, if you open up the short, beautiful dump to the downside. And it's usually a pretty fast move. That one you may not have caught because it was so fast. But then you open the short here, you would have caught the extra move. So just every time you go below on the 4 hour, expect to move down. Just expect to move to the downside, period. You know what I mean? Casper's actually pumping right now to the upside now. So doesn't seem to care what Bitcoin's doing. You have to remember, Casper's in a completely different place. And someone asked me about the 1 hour on Casper. You have it in a symmetrical triangle like this, yeah. Possible. I kind of have it more in a flag on the 4 hour time frame because that doesn't fit on the 4 hour. And the 4 hour is the most aggressive time frame I'm looking at. So I'm more trading the 4 hour like this. To me, it's broken out and like it's starting to push. So to me, it's a flag that broke out on the 4 hour time frame with legs, right? Again, it will have to get through this resistance at 4.9, but this thing's starting to move pretty nicely to the upside. Caspa pumping, all right? NOD, H-bar, and DMTR. I may not have time, everyone. I'm going to have to jump on out of here. I will be late soon. I want to give you my one last idea here. NQ continuing to fall. The target is 50.33.6, so can you go all the way, baby? That's what the TA says you're going to do, not what I'm saying you're going to do. That's what the TA says. That's a volume area low, volume area lows, value area lows. Could bounce back into the cup, handle, and moon. Possible. All right, so let's get back to where we are. All right. And so the rising wedge dumping below the 200 SMA, you know, and now you're looking for what? I mean, you're looking for support and resistance levels. You had major resistance right here. Could you use that as support? Once you lose that, you're done. That's a POC right there at 26.2, right? And the smaller time frames, 26.6 is going to be the key area right there. Now 25.8, and BOOKMAP suggests too. So, you know, you're looking for 25.8. Which really you extend this. I'll tell you what, I mean, I'll keep this out because if you fall back inside here, then you have to understand that you'll fall further down too as well, right? And they're dumping it on a Friday. And rising wedges break down, you know, 68% of the time. And there was even a bearish retest there, and the 15-minute with my stochastic, you know, entry told us it was time to short the market. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't have the time for the support and resistance, man. I appreciate you. Enough, Sammy. Go be with your family. We'll be here for the next stream. NQ, one more time, please, Lifer Broski. It's got a huge divergence now. But what you want price to yoke away from the 21. You don't want it to pull the 21 with it. Now that's pulling the 21 with it, tells me that it will just continue to make bearish flags that will probably continue to drop to the downside. It's all about how that moving average moves with price action too. It'll tell you a story, right? Hope everything went well today. Thoughts and prayers go to the Price family. Thank you. God bless you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah. And I think it's in the Boston Globe. Let's see. There's my aunt right there, Maureen Rooney of West Roxbury, passed away at home September 3rd. Complete obituary online guest book at lawlafuneralhome.com. Family and friends will honor and remember Maureen's gathering at the Lawla in Crosby Funeral Home, 1803 Center Street, West Roxbury, Mass, from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Friday, September 15th. Followed by a procession at the Calvary. I gotta go. God bless everybody. I'll see you later. I see Bitcoin going further to the downside based on the 4-hour time frame. All right, likely going to kind of settle somewhere here near the lower moving averages. And you have a POC at 25.888, and BOOKMAP also wants to take you to 25.8. So if I was in a short, I would remain short all the way to 25,800. All right, everyone, God bless you. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you later on today in the trading group. My elite will hold it down too as well. And may God bless you all. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, Lifer Mastery class this weekend. All right. It's going to be Sundays at 12 p.m. Eastern time. Understand how to trade leverage if you don't want to learn. Don't touch leverage if you don't want to learn how to do it. All right. Period. Please. Trade spot and learn how to trade spot before anything else. Okay. Please take care of yourself. I'm not a financial advisor. Another thing I'm saying you should be taking this financial advice. Please get yourself a financial advisor and do your own due diligence before getting into any coin project or trade. 26,300 was a key support. If we lose, you're going further down, right? And look at the level we're looking at right there is 2670. You hit that, it's 25.8. BOOKMAP says we go to 25.8 today, and we get pretty bearish, so anything could happen. Another thing is, look, we have a low, we have a lower high. Lower low. I mean, that's a high, a low, a lower high, a lower low in the trend. I mean, that's a low, that's a downtrend. And your daily's getting overbought. You got to, you got to heed that. So things are trending to the downside. You just got a death cross on the daily. All right. And you'd say, well, where do we go? You lost this point of control too. I mean, your next node there is 22,003, 24,680. Another thing that I've been talking about is the 2-week chart, right? And my old strategy is we were far away from the 21 SMA in the 2-week. We're finally close to it. We could start to get a bounce here, right? So it's not the end of the world. If the 3-day can hold the hidden bullish divergence, all will be well. The second we lose that, that's when you're going to see me turn a lot more bearish, all right? And that's our update for Bitcoin on the day. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being here. And be careful trading on the Fridays if you don't have your strategy down packed or you don't know exactly what you're going to do, okay? And again, we could V-shape recovery, get right back inside. You never know what Bitcoin's going to do, but right now it looks far more bearish. 4-hour has more room to push us to the downside, and once price action goes below, look for a candle to close below this 21 SMA. The 4-hour closes below this white line, you're likely headed down here. If the 4-hour doesn't, then you could get saved, but so that's going to be a key area to maybe confirm or deny whether you want to continue the short or not, whether we close below this 21 SMA. All right. Everyone, thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow for another beautiful live stream. God bless you all. And thank you for a great time. Appreciate you all. Thank you.